Hi, I'm Kurt Kelly for Live Video Inc. and Actors Reporter with coverage from NAB 2012. In this episode, Linda Kruse, who is speaking on behalf of Harmonic in their latest technology, emotion3D. And our celebrity spotlight will shine on the legendary Rob Legato. This and much more coming up in this episode of NAB 2012. From Las Vegas, I'm Kurt Kelly for Live Video Inc. and Actors Reporter.
Hi, this is Sheena Easton. We'll be right back with more, so please don't go away.
Welcome to NAB 2012, live from Las Vegas. From Las Vegas, it's NAB 2012.
Hi, this is Florian Seitner from emotion3D. We are here at the NAB 2012, a great event, and after a week of this great show, we are definitely looking forward to coming back next year.
I'm Kurt Kelly for Actors Reporter and Live Video Inc. Now we meet Linda Kruse from Harmonic. I'm Kurt Kelly and we're at NAB 2012. My, how time flies when we're having fun. And I have the distinguished pleasure to be with Linda Kruse.
Hi.
Hi. Now you're here at this booth, but this is not your normal thing. I remember you from television and documentary filmmaking. How do you go from being a documentary filmmaker to being a spokesperson at NAB?
Well, I started off in broadcasting. I was a news anchor.
At ABC.
At ABC.
Right.
And I left because I got tired of bad news and formed my own production company and made documentaries. But when they were looking for a speaker, because as a broadcaster I spoke for the Cancer Society and those type of things, and so I've been a speaker for about 20 years, when a friend of mine heard that Harmonic was looking for a speaker, but it had to be a technical speaker. So my background, I have a master's degree in editing on an Avid. So they needed someone who could, yes, right next to me. So they needed someone who could actually do a demo, but not just memorize the lines, but actually do the demo. And it's Flash Pro, and there's a lot of other technical stuff. So that's what I do for them now. So as their speaker at the National Broadcaster Show and then the International Broadcaster Show, I'll do their demos.
Going from ABC and saying I'm tired of bad news can be a little scary for some people because that's a real cush job being a news anchor in Chicago.
Yeah, but I think for everybody, everyone has a life path, and I think for most actors you have to find what's unique for you, and I went into broadcasting because I wanted to be a journalist, and because I had a pretty face, they would put me behind a counter and let me read news, and I didn't want to read news. I actually wanted to report the news. So documentaries are like news according to me, right. But news nonetheless. And so a lot of the documentaries I make now are geared around good news, which is what Cruising America, my latest documentary, is about. So it's a docu-series.
So would you like to tell us a bit about Cruising America?
Cruising America is a documentary about my brother. He retired from the military, and after living 20 years outside the country and growing up in the military, he's never lived in the country he defended. So when he retired from the military, he and his wife and kids decided to take a tour around of America in a truck and a camper for a year to find the best place to live in America. And turns out I thought it would be a great idea, and I followed him. So that became our last name, which is Kruse, so we called it Cruising America, and the documentary became a feel-good project about great towns in America, and a lot of people supported us along the way, and what was a small documentary turned into a 6-part series, and we have 200,000 followers that follow us each month, and yeah, so that's my latest good news project.
But with today's technology, you don't have to wait to be picked up by a broadcast network or a television station. You can become your own entity if you have the fortitude.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we didn't have growing up was this thing called the internet. And the internet gives you a lot of opportunities, not just to show your work, but also to research. And I'm a big proponent of research. You can research places where you can, as an actor, you can find work. You can research places as a director to find work. How to sell your documentaries, you can do research that way. And I think that that's one of the things that a lot of people don't do, is they don't actually try to find alternative ways to work. And for me, as a speaker for 20 years, it was easy for me to take work like this, where I get paid quite well, and take that money and put it into my documentaries, which most of the time documentaries don't make a great deal of money, and people are starving trying to get things done. So I found different ways in my life to sort of take, you know, apples, you know, and make something with it.
Apple pie?
Apple pie, and it tastes really good, which I'm a fabulous cook, by the way.
Yes, certainly. Food and documentaries. What's next for Linda Kruse?
Wow, what are you talking to my parents?
They asked me to find out what you're going to do when you grow up.
Next. You know, one of the things that I learned doing Cruising America and a lot of other things is that I love the directing aspect of what I do.
Right.
And my favorite part of directing is actually interviewing regular people. And I find that if I can interview people doing ordinary things in an extraordinary way, that's kind of where my direction seems to be going. And with Cruising America, that was just one step. It sort of led me to meet amazing different kinds of people all over the world, and I think that's kind of where my life path will probably go. I think for anybody, it doesn't matter what occupation you're in. I think you have to find what your passion is, what your heart's desire is, and I know that it's kind of cliche and people say, well, I don't know what that is, but you can actually, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to people that know you. There are certain qualities that we all have, and if you can find a way to make a living at the qualities that just come natural to you, I think that is the only way you can live your life.
So, I'm Daniel Jonsson, I'm the CEO of Production Minds. It's been a pleasure to be here on your show, Actors Reporter with Kurt Kelly. Really appreciate the attention and looking forward to see you again very soon. Thank you.
Harmonic is a company that offers a broad marketing leading portfolio of video infrastructure solutions spanning content production to multimedia screen video delivery. Their customers can efficiently create, prepare, and deliver high-quality, differentiated video services over any network to any device while simplifying end-to-end asset management, reducing cost, and streamlining workflows. The theme for this year was bringing your content to life. NAB is the world's largest event covering film entertainment and development management of delivery of content across all mediums. NAB is the show home for solutions that transcend broadcasting and embrace content delivery to new screens in new ways of all sizes. Coming up a little later in this episode, we'll meet the people from emotion3D talking about a new technology. On NAB 2012 from Las Vegas, I'm Kurt Kelly for Actors Reporter and Live Video Inc. Stick around.
My name is Jessica Kantor. I work with Livestream. I'm their head of marketing, and I'm watching Actors Reporter with Kurt Kelly.
I'm Maria from Brevity, and I'm with Kurt Kelly, having a great time at NAB.
Welcome back to NAB 2012 from Las Vegas. I'm Kurt Kelly for Live Video Inc. and Actors Reporter. Tom Wilson's company is emotion3D. The revolutionary tools in emotion3D's stereoscopic suite X1 facilitate compositing shot material, editing the depth script, and finishing for different targets like cinema, home theater, laptops, glasses-free 3D displays, and much more. So what is emotion3D?
Emotion3D is a company who is providing software for the post-production industry. We are specializing on 3D post-production, and our software allows 3D filmmakers to adapt the 3D depth impression in post.
When you say adapt the depth, did I understand that correctly? So if it's moderate 3D, you can actually help them enhance the 3D?
Yes, exactly. Or actually, it's also about changing the way the audience perceives the 3D impression of your film. If you shoot for a certain audience or for a certain displaying environment, for example for TV, and you want to show it in a different viewing environment like cinema, then the depth impression will be quite different, and you want to change this before you actually show it.
So with your technology, do I still need to use stereoscopic cameras for shooting in 3D?
Yes, you do. The best 3D content is still shot with stereoscopic cameras. However, it's quite a headache to film with these cameras because they need to be set up with exactly the right alignment, the right distance from each other, the right angle to each other. And in reality, filming doesn't always work out that way, especially under tight schedules.
What made you get together to do this technology? What's your background? Were you working in post?
We're both PhDs in computer vision.
Wow.
And we're passionate about anything to do with images and video processing. And we were looking for opportunities at that time. 2.5 years ago, we tried out all kinds of ideas. We had to evaluate things not only based on technology and what we could do, but also in terms of market fit. And when we chose the 3D technology, we were right spot on with the right timing.
Now there's new technology, in fact we saw some upstairs through some vendors, where they're developing technology for broadcast and for home usage, where you can see 3D without glasses. Will your software enhance that ability?
It's not going to enhance it, but it's going to enabling it. Because normally for glasses-free 3D displays, you often need more than 2 views, for example 8. And one option is to shoot with 8 cameras.
Did you say I have to shoot with 8 cameras?
Exactly. It's completely impossible in practice because it's so much work on the set, in post. I mean, you have to do color grading on 8 camera views. So what our software enables you is to shoot with 2 cameras and to create the other 6 cameras you need afterwards in post.
What's the learning curve to use your software?
It's very simple to use. It's designed as a plugin for Adobe's After Effects film editing software.
In the CS5 suite?
CS5, 5.5 and 6.
Right.
And as a result, it has the familiar look and feel to video editors.
Tell me about your friend Mario.
Mario is a good friend of ours. So yes. Mario is an undercover detective at the NAB show.
Yes.
And this year Mario was looking around at the most innovative technology.
He was spying on everyone, I heard.
That's right, and he found something particularly interesting. What did he find, Florian?
He found the latest version, which we are going to release in June, of the SSX1, the stereoscopic suite.
Oh, is this in beta?
No, it's not in beta anymore.
Okay, just checking. Just checking, Adobe. No, sorry.
No, there's always the next generation of the software coming out. The first version was released at the IBC last year, and we're going to have the next version with advanced features, like, for example, pre-visualization of the depth impression on various viewing environments, so you can somehow get an idea how your content will look in different displaying environments. This will kind of be in the next version, and yeah, I think Mario liked this feature.
We have an open effects version of the plugin, and that means it's compatible with any host application, any video editing application that is compatible with the open effects interfaces. These include Nuke from the Foundry, which is a 3D editing suite, Avid, Sony Vegas. I could go on, but I don't want to bore you.
So in other words, anybody virtually who's in this space, you're willing to talk to.
That's right. We've designed our product to be as accessible to everybody and as easy to use as possible.
I think beyond that, you have a letter of acknowledgement. Could you share that with us?
Certainly I could. I'd be happy to read out a few key sentences.
Well, but first, let's show Mario's official letter. It's on the letterhead. This is the real deal. This is what it looks like when you come here with a booth in the next 10 years, hoping to do what these guys accomplished in one show.
Just the show floor for what he considers to be the top products to be introduced. He only picks 10, and we are the first in that 10.
Coming up later in this episode, we'll meet the people from the Pulse Network and Nick Saber, who is the behind the scenes of what happens at the Pulse.
I'm Dennis Wharton, the NAB Executive Vice President of Communications. I'm happy to be here with Kurt Kelly and Actors Reporters, the online service that I never miss.
Coming up, known for his visual effects work and supervisor for Hugo, Titanic, and many more, on a special panel, the celebrity spotlight falls on Rob Legato, who spoke about how creativity and technology merged together to influence storytelling in film. I'm Kurt Kelly for Actors Reporter and Live Video Inc. Stick around.
I'm Rebecca Adewale from Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry PR agency, and I'm here with Kurt Kelly from Actors Reporter.
Welcome back to NAB 2012, and now we meet a man from behind the scenes who has his pulse on what's going on at NAB. Nick Saber from the Pulse Network. I'm Kurt Kelly from Live Video Inc. and Actors Reporter. We are at the NAB 2012 with Nick Saber. Is it true your family invented the sword?
Absolutely.
Okay. And on his shield, he can now add the Pulse Network, which helps people brand events and their companies.
Absolutely. We help companies, create engaging content to really drive engagement, which we believe, if you drive good engagement, you'll drive commerce.
So explain what's going on behind us here.
So we created with the NAB show kind of a unique experience. We created a blogger lounge that are really enabling companies as well as bloggers to create content and create engaging content, which we believe that really means video, during the event so that they can start to publish their stories and get their messaging out there right away.
We're at a point in today's business world where, as you so astutely put earlier, you have to be a broadcaster even if you're selling widgets.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's in this world at this point in terms of Google and the way search is being conducted, everybody needs to be a media company. You know, it doesn't matter what you're selling, what your business is. We're all media companies, and we need to find, you know, really good ways to create that engaging content and get it into the search channels and get into the social channels so that we can be found and people will be, you know, think we're relevant. And
to borrow an industry term, to be viral. When was the last time you looked at the Yellow Pages? Yeah, that's our point.
In the early 90s, right, you had to get your website up and it was more of just a business card or a brochure online. But now it's about creating a presence and really engaging with your customers or your community or the community that likes your, you know, your industry, and creating that conversation or being involved in the conversation and driving, you know, that community.
So if a company would like to utilize your services, how does that model work?
You know, we've got several models that we work with brands on, and you know, most of it is more of a subscription model where we can create, because again, if you want to be found in search, you know, as we know, it's about creating velocity of content, so you've got to create content at a rapid pace. So we work with brands at a subscription model so that we can create lots of content and get it into those channels regularly. What we found is being able to come up with some package type solutions. We do this thing called executive briefings, which is give us 15 minutes of your thought leader's time and we'll create 5 pieces of content. And create blog posts, make that SEO rich, and get that into the channel. So it's about really trying to create that in a systematic way so that we take less time from the executives, but at the same time, you know, produce that content that needs to be found.
If you're under 20, you grew up in a viral world.
Absolutely.
That excludes you and I being 25 now. But my point is, you had a previous life before this technology. What was it?
Well, I've always been a gadget guy, to be honest. You know, and we grew up in the event.
Inspector Gadget, I finally met you. Yes.
And we grew up in the event space, so we did a lot of work.
Concert stuff like that?
No, the Pulse Network's really origin was back, and we created.
Pulse Network, the column publication?
No. Our original company was actually called Expo Registration. We did a lot of event technology for the trade show industry, like Comdex and Networld Plus Interrupt.
Certainly,
we were the first company to ever do self-registration, ever. We invented self-registration.
Wow.
Before the airlines,
That's going back, what, mid-90s?
Yeah, absolutely. We did it for Macworld back in 1992. It's about enabling brands to create, you know, to manage their marketing campaigns, and to do that in a way that, again, creates that engagement with their customers in a way that they could never do before.
My name is Keenam. I'm with T3 Motion. I'm here at the NAB with the Kurt for Actor Reporter.
And now our celebrity spotlight, Rob Legato, who is a legend in the industry in special effects. After a long career in television for Paramount Pictures, Rob Legato joined the newly formed Digital Domain, the visual effects company founded by James Cameron, and has had impressive work on Ron Howard's Apollo 13 and has won a total of 11 Oscars for Best Picture and Best Visual Effects on some of the highest grossing movies of all time.
The little story about the revolving thing is I was somehow to figure out how to get this huge camera to basically do a 360 going down and corkscrewing, and it just can't be done. And so I got a C+ in physics, so I kind of was an expert at this sort of thing. I figured, well, what if we rotated the set, and then I create the illusion of the cameras actually rotating by putting the background in, so I got that figured out. And if the crane only went straight down, then it's something the crane could do and the camera can do, and all we need to do is basically have this revolving set revolve the opposite of the little boy sliding down. So the little boy is actually sliding down all the, you know, a 360 traversing it, but he's really relatively staying in one place. And as soon as I said it, I felt, well, sure, that's a solution. And they immediately said it won't work. It's like, well, it's physics. I got a C+. I mean, it's got to work. And bizarre about human nature, I think, is people rush to judgment to say things will not work so that they look like they're the authority figure when obviously it won't work, and they're the ones who knew it in itself. But I am a village idiot, and so I don't mind making mistakes because I could fix them before anybody gets a chance to see them. So I have no fear about doing it. So I said, well, I don't know, I actually think we should give it a shot. And we decided to give it a shot, and it took about 18 takes to finally click in for people to really grasp sort of the mechanics of it, which is relatively simple to do. And everybody who rushed to judgment to tell me it wouldn't work had to just eat shit. So.
This is David Becker with Kurt Kelly and Actors Reporter live from NAB 2012.
Coming up on a future episode of NAB 2012, you'll meet Jenny Griffin at the Canon booth, Michael Constantine speaking for Prime Focus, Keith LeSac from Harmonic. We have continuing coverage of NAB 2012 coming up soon. I'm Kurt Kelly from Live Video Inc. and Actors Reporter. Thanks for joining us.
Ready? Okay. Hi, this is David Becker reporting. Whoops, I'm not reporting.
You are. I said like a report.
Okay. Another one? What? And you're watching Actors Reporter with Kurt Kelly. Okay, we can do this again. One more time? Okay. Alrighty? Okay, this is getting worse.
Now it's time for the NAB 2012 special bonus moments from Las Vegas.
So AMD, one of our corporate sponsors this evening, is recognized, there it goes again, for high-performance processors as well as advanced graphics, is leading the industry in the move towards heterogeneous computing, where the balanced use of both CPU and GPU technologies to deliver enhanced performance levels and capabilities in form factors not possible before. PCs and workstations featuring leading AMD products and technologies such as AMD Vision technology for PCs, AMD Opteron for servers and workstations, AMD FirePro professional graphics, and Radeon HD graphics are available from top OEMs and integrators all around the planet. Charlie Boswell is AMD's Director of Digital Entertainment and also known as AMD's Chief Empathy Officer. In his role, he's empathetic both for the digital artist as well as the consumer. Charlie knows that both the artist and consumer have similar objectives. One is to create without barriers, and the other is to become immersed in the creation without becoming an IT professional. He has chosen Sony Vegas for many years now as the production tool most respected by seasoned professionals as well as beginners. Please welcome Charlie Boswell.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Sony. It's a pleasure to be back here with you guys. I've been a Vegas user since version 2, and you know what I do for AMD is, you know, I'm an engineer, but I'm also a director, and I've been involved in this role for about 10 years, working with large studios, working with individual directors who struggle with technology. And I think I'm here tonight for the same reason you're here tonight, because this stuff is incredible, it's organic, and it's happening. Let's give it all a big hand. I want to kind of give you guys an idea why it's such an honor for AMD to be here with Sony and Sony Creative Software. We have a shared vision, and that is to remove barriers from, you know, of technology and put power into the hands of people. You know, sort of the term I like to use is sort of democratization of tools. The stuff that used to be only available to the big budget now is available to you, the filmmaker. And you know, Dave talked a lot about our technology. You know, our amazing GPU technology and our CPU technology. But more importantly, it's our culture that makes a difference. And working with the amazing Sony team, we've been able to optimize now Sony Vegas with the GPU GPU. And what that means to you, the filmmaker, is a couple of things. One is cutting your render time down. Render to me is sort of an old school term, you know, like let's break for lunch, and while this thing renders, we'll come back, we'll make creative decisions based on what we see. What AMD and Sony have been able to do now is to increase sort of bringing the GPU into the foreground now, so you can make creative decisions, not in a render situation, but in a preview situation where, you know, for me, shooting a lot of rock concerts, I'm doing multicam editing, so I'm working in the multicam pane a lot. You know, being able to cut between those things. The GPU is making a tremendous difference for me there. But for you, the filmmaker, what I'm hearing tonight, and just listening to amazing Douglas Spotted Eagle, who has helped me tremendously over my Vegas journey, is that all these partners and this expanding Vegas universe, great reason why Vegas and Sony is such a great place. Not only the amazing cameras that you've seen, but Sony Vegas now embracing open effects, you know, increasing the number of partners like, you know, Red Giant and you know, and some of these other partners that you'll see. It just shows the organic community that's developing around Vegas. I use Vegas because I'm productive on it. Yes, I use other tools, but some of these, you know, as a technologist, as an AMD quote executive, if you will, I see a lot of really crappy technology. The thing that I'm excited about Sony Vegas and Sony and AMD and all these partners is we're working together. Our developer teams, some of which here tonight, you know, Clarice Simmons and Kevin Spross, who are in the audience tonight, have been amazing on helping us get this together. But this community that you're a part of, you're seeing, you know, all of our efforts being put into making you more productive, putting power in your hands, and not turning you into IT professionals, which, you know, we've all suffered with technology, and you know, you can fly to the moon if you have the money and time, but that's not the point. We want to be about the task and not the technology, and that's the culture that AMD and Sony have together, and that's why we're so proud to be here. To me, what Sony Vegas does for me, it gives me control. I don't want a bunch of nerds hooked into my creative process. I want to do everything myself and involve people as I need to, but as I'm incubating my idea, Sony Vegas helps me do that. And that's another reason. Now, in the future, some of the great things that are happening with the developer teams at Sony and at AMD, we have now combined our CPU and our GPU together, which is called our APU. We use the term heterogeneous computing, but essentially what it is, it's bringing everything together in a unified memory architecture. So not only the acceleration that you're seeing, which for me as a Vegas 2 user on up through the chain, Vegas 11 is like a quantum leap. But now as we bring our APU, we're going to be bringing more power for you, the directors, onto the set. So you don't have to be chained to a tower or whatever. And so as the last challenge that I want to give you as filmmakers, you as content creators, the cloud, which is increasing the demand for content orders of magnitude. If there was ever a time for you to really step up and make your movie, it is now. And I want to congratulate the Sony team and also the AMD developer team that has helped us get here. And that's really all I have. I'm continuing to make movies. I'm kind of stuck in the rut of multi-camera concert rock and roll stuff, and but I'm doing a feature this year based on sort of the death of the 90s, if you will. Pardon me, the death of the 80s, the heavy metal scene, and then with what's happening there. And it's the suicide of a very famous person. So it's not like a musical, but it's a film that I use Sony Vegas to do. So why don't we just roll a clip, and that's all I got.
Letter to myself.
Happiness feels like this. You're